When I was 8, they thought I was too dark to be beautiful. When I was 18, they gifted me a razor for my graduation present because I was too hairy. In my 20s and my 30s, living in the US, they thought I was exotic. And in my 40s, I don't give a damn what they think. I just wish I'd gotten that memo earlier. I'm Kamna, and I'm going to make you a little uncomfortable. Don't fight it. All right, you know me. I'm a little bit of an academic, so we have to start with the technical foundations. Beauty is defined as a combination of qualities such as shape, color, or form that please the aesthetic senses, especially sight. Nowhere in that definition does it say tall, blonde, and skinny. We did that all by ourselves. So I'm going to focus on two major points about beauty that are really, really important. Number one, beauty is political. Our definitions of beauty are largely influenced by the social structures and the power hierarchies of the times that we live in. For the ancient Greeks, that were the civilized people of the time, it was about math, symmetry. In the 20s, women had the right to vote. There was a lot more rebellion going on. Women like Greta Garbo, strong-willed characters, became the social symbols. In the 50s, Marilyn Monroe, voluptuous, sex symbol, damsel in distress, a little bit more vulnerable. In the 60s, it was the androgynous Twiggy. You get my point here, all relating to social structures and the political movements of the time. But one thing has been consistent. Women have always been judged for their looks because, frankly, that's kind of all they were allowed to do. Look pretty and make babies. It was all about fertility, small waists, and it was about wealth. Dark-skinned women were considered unattractive because it was associated with farm workers and meant that her husband couldn't let her stay at home and lunch with the ladies. The messages, though, were always mixed. In the Victorian age, women, in order to keep their men, were supposed to be innocent yet seductive. But makeup was associated with prostitutes. So, go figure. Which brings me to my second big truth about beauty. It is fickle as thick. It's hilarious because in my home country in India, women are literally peeling off their faces to look fairer. And in the West, men and women spend billions of dollars under fake lights trying to develop a tan. Beauty standards change and beauty messaging changes. And unless you're Mystique from the X-Men, who the hell else can keep up? And why would you want to? So I'm going to go with maybe don't bother. Particularly when we're talking about raising young girls and young women. And here are some of my suggestions. I think the current rhetoric around, don't tell girls they're pretty, tell them they're smart. I think that's problematic for a couple of reasons. One is it drives home a very unidimensional message that you can't be both. And I live in Silicon Valley and I see a lot of that. For the longest time, I thought I had to be compelled to wear flannel and Converse just to show that I was smart. And now, just to make a point, I will wear stilettos and a pencil skirt and go in a sleigh room. I think it's a public service, really. The other thing it does is for girls who are really interested in fashion and in that kind of creativity, it kind of shuts them down and shows them that there's no place for them. So I don't really think that's the message that we want to give them either. So what do we teach them? We teach them that beauty is not unidimensional. It's not one set of characteristics. And frankly, the good news is we live in a time where we are beginning to see more and more representation in the media. Yes, we have a long way to go, but let's not knock what we have. We've had beautiful black women like Lupita grace the cover of Vogue. Billy Porter can rock the Oscar red carpet in a freaking tuxedo skirt. Henry Golding, Hubba Hubba, is beginning to represent East Asians around the world. My own brown people, Lily Singh, Priyanka Chopra, Hassan Minhaj. Show your children these images. Teach them where constructs of beauty come from and let them learn to value what they have within themselves because everybody has something. A little girl may love her beautiful brown eyes or her chocolate brown skin. I mean, my 8-year-old daughter literally blows kisses to herself as she walks past the mirror every morning. I think it's fantastic. I, for one, think I have fabulous collarbones and I might try to ensure them one day, just like JLo and her ass. I also get that it's a weird time to kind of be like, hey, I love myself. That's kind of what we do on social media. We filter our lives to make them look fantastic, but at the same time we also have to humble brag in case we want to say something that might make other people feel bad. But if the true authentic message is I'm really happy being me and I'd love you to be happy being you, I don't see how we can go wrong. And that's why, by the way, I think Lizzo is so critical in our times. If you read the comments that Lizzo gets for more or less every post that she puts up on Instagram, like, I would keel over and die. But she is out there showing people that you don't have to be just one size or one color, one shape to be beautiful. And for that, I think she deserves the Presidential Medal of Freedom. I would totally pay to watch that interaction between her and Trump, by the way. And I think finally, the most important point when we talk to our children is that how you look does not define you. Neither does your grades in school or how many sports teams you play on. It is the whole of the person that you are. And that includes your character and your integrity and your ambition and what you want to bring to the world. So you may not be the prettiest girl in the room, but you might be the most complete. And that is much more valuable than anything else you can have. And by the way, this is not something that I was born knowing either. I had to learn the hard way. If you watch some of my earlier videos, like the one about growing up with dark skin in India, you'll see that I had to teach myself all this. Because ultimately, I think when beauty lies in the eyes of the beholder, if you don't love what you behold, nobody else can either. Cheers.